Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to wait just a minute, let everybody get logged on here before we start. Okay, well, good afternoon. I'm David Green. I'm the Deputy Chief with the Fire Rescue Department and the county's emergency manager. I'm joined today by Fire Rescue Chief Barry McRoy, Chief Wade Marvin from the Walterboro Police Department, and Sheriff Charles Gint. And we appreciate y'all joining us again today. We're broadcasting live again from Fire Rescue Headquarters. We'd like to take this opportunity to address any questions that you have, but we do have some information we'd like to put out first. If you have any questions in the meantime, you can go to the colletonfire.com/question. That's without the S. Go to that link and submit your question, and we will answer them here in just a few minutes. But first, since our previous live stream last week, President Trump has declared several counties in South Carolina, including Colleton County, a major disaster area in response to the April 13th tornado outbreak that caused widespread damage in our county, as well as multiple injuries and one fatality. This disaster declaration makes Colleton County eligible for both public assistance and individual assistance. The public assistance makes local governments eligible for partial reimbursement for emergency protective measures and debris management. The individual assistance is available to any citizen of Colleton County that experienced damage as a result of the tornado outbreak on April 13th. Individual assistance offers several layers of assistance. These include housing repair, where an individual can receive financial assistance to repair damage to an owner-occupied uninsured home. Rental assistance, this assists renters with temporarily securing a new place to stay. And other needs assistance, which can include personal property, transportation, etc. It's important to note that the maximum amount that an individual can secure from one of these programs is $35,500. And less than 1% of applicants receive this level of financial assistance. So it's very rare to obtain that much money. The average amount an individual receives is around $1,800. You can register and determine your eligibility by contacting FEMA, and the numbers up there on the board. It's 1-800-621-3362, or by going to their website, which is disasterassistance.gov. It's likely that you will first be referred to the Small Business Administration to determine your eligibility for an SBA loan. If you do not qualify, then you may be eligible for individual assistance grants, where again the average award is $1,800. It's important that we remind everyone that due to the low average individual assistance awards, insurance is still the best way to protect your home and family. With our approaching hurricane season, all citizens are encouraged to shop around at different insurance companies and find a policy that best covers your home. In Colleton County, there are 3 fire departments: the Town of Edisto Fire Department, Walterboro City Fire Department, and Colleton County Fire Rescue, and all possess very low insurance service office ratings, class 3 out of 10. These low ISO ratings translate to lower insurance premiums for those seeking coverage when compared to the majority of other fire department jurisdictions across the nation that have higher ISO ratings, and as a result, their citizens pay higher insurance premiums. We'd like to point out that we have a new disaster website. That address is colletoncounty.org/disaster. And with the approaching hurricane season, it's only a few weeks away. June 1st is the beginning of hurricane season. We want everyone to be prepared. So it's pretty unusual for our area to experience a hurricane on June 1st. But in your preparations, we want you to plan your evacuation route well ahead of time. If you live in an evacuation zone or in a mobile home, you may have to evacuate in the event of a major storm if the governor orders that. If you live in an evacuation zone or in a mobile home and are ordered to evacuate, you should consider using the shelter as a last resort, given the social distancing requirements that could potentially still be in place due to the COVID-19 pandemic. You should really consider staying with a family or friends outside of the evacuation zone. This will limit your potential exposure to others that could potentially have COVID-19 and be contagious. Although there will be processes in place to protect evacuees at the shelter, the best way to avoid potential exposure to other contagious persons is to consider sheltering in a non-congregate setting, such as at a friend's house or a family member's house outside of the evacuation zone. Remember to build your evacuation kit and keep non-perishable emergency supplies in it. So extra batteries, lamps, matches, prescription drugs, a 3-day supply of drinking water, food, first aid supplies, a portable NOAA weather radio, a flashlight, and a manual can opener. If you need to evacuate, you'll need to bring these supplies with you. Take an inventory of your personal property. Review your insurance policies. A lot of homeowners' insurance policies do not cover floods, so you need to examine that. And you may want to consider purchasing a flood insurance policy separate from your homeowner's policy. And then take steps to protect your home. So replace any gravel or rock landscaping materials with shredded bark. Cut any weak branches or trees. Install storm shutters to protect your windows. Make sure your exterior doors are hurricane proof. Make sure your sliding glass doors are made of tempered glass. Replace any old garage doors and tracks. Seal any outside wall openings. And if you live in a mobile home, make sure you know how to secure it against high winds, and be sure to review your home insurance policy. If you have a boat or trailer, know how to anchor it, the trailer to the ground or to the house, and review your boat insurance policy. There are also a number of changes that will occur this year as a result of hurricane operations in association with COVID-19. These include, but are not limited to, the potential for reduced capacity in the shelter due to social distancing practices, changes in transportation, and a number of others. These are new challenges that we will all face this hurricane season due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and as a result, we are still working on modifying our plans to address this new operating environment. As of today, Colleton County still has 10 current COVID-19 cases and 32 total cases since the inception of this pandemic. Colleton County citizens are strongly encouraged to continue social distancing practices and the hand washing and face covering protective initiatives to help limit the spread of COVID-19 in our county. And hopefully everybody's gotten that up off the board there. I'm going to go back to the other slide where you can submit your questions, and we'll start taking questions now. So the first question is, will the Walterboro Police Department please make it mandatory that everyone wear masks? So Chief Arvin, you want to address that one?
Good afternoon. Unfortunately, that decision is not up to us. We do encourage that people take the proper steps to keep themselves safe and others around them safe. As far as making it mandatory, that's above us. But we do encourage that you wear it when necessary.
The next question is, I was around possible COVID cases at the Walterboro jail. What should I do? Sheriff?
First and foremost, I want to state that we have not had any confirmed cases of COVID-19 at the Colleton County Detention Center to date. We initiated some additional screening, isolation practices fairly early on in this incident, and we continue those and modify those as needed. If you feel that you may have been possibly exposed to someone, whether you feel it's in the jail or anywhere else, we encourage you obviously to self-quarantine as necessary for at least up to 14 days. If you have any symptoms or feel you have symptoms, you may want to reach out to your healthcare provider and see about testing. Isolate yourself from anyone, especially those vulnerable, and do what you can to mitigate your own risk. Try not to stay try to find yourself in places where you would be exposed to large numbers of people, to include the jail.
The next question is, what protections do I need to take when I am early voting? My age and health put me at a higher risk for COVID-19. Chief McRoy, you want to cover that?
Sure. The voter registration office is they're opening early for absentee ballots, and you can actually just call them and they will mail you a ballot to your house. You can complete it and return it by mail, so you don't even have to go there.
Next we have, how frequently can you wear a cloth mask before washing it? Chief, you want to cover that?
Sure. Cloth mask is just like the clothes you wear. CDC recommends that the more you wear it, obviously, the more you'd want to wash it. But just like any other cloth clothing item, you can wash it regularly. You can wash it every day. But if it becomes soiled, you should have it clean. Just throw it in the washing machine and wash it.
Next we have, what are the guidelines for restaurants within city limits? Chief Martin.
That's a great question. The city manager and assistant manager, they put out some guidelines, I believe it was this week, on what you can and cannot do, and I know that they're trying to work with all restaurants. If you go to our website, I think it's on the county website, if you have any questions or don't have access to the internet, you can call us and we can get you that information. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to call, and we can help guide you through that process. Any way we can, we want to help.
I think the next one's yours too. Are city parks open?
City parks are not open at this time, and due to the extensive damage of the Great Swamp Sanctuary and some of the other parks, we do not have a date of when they might be reopened. We are
considerable damage in there, I think.
There was, yes, and they are working on it. So as soon as we can, we'll have them back open.
When does SCDOT's last pass begin for debris pickup from the April 13th tornadoes? I think that's in the city as well.
Yeah. So it starts the 26th, the last pickup. If we could have all storm-related debris to the curb or to the side of the road by the 25th, no later than early morning 26th, then we can. That'll be the last pass that they make on the 26th.
The next question is about the road closure on Hodgenville Highway. So we've been notified by DOT. There's a drain pipe under the ground that crosses Cottageville Highway in front of the airport entrance. And it's got to be replaced. It's very deep in the ground, and they're going to be closing Cottageville Highway at the airport on May 11th. And it may be closed that entire week. The detour is to Sydney's Road, out to Industrial, back to Jeffries, and back to Robertson. So that'll be the way around that road closure. But Cottageville Highway, beginning on May 11th, will be closed for potentially a week. DOT hopes to have the work done before then, but they do have quite a task there to accomplish getting that pipe out. And I don't see any more questions here. We got any more coming in? Okay, we'll give it another second here and see if we get any come in.
We can take this time to thank everyone who has been abiding by the guidelines and the rules and the regulations, and thank everyone who's reached out and helped their neighbor or friends or maybe even strangers during this time. I know it's been a trying time for a lot of people through the COVID and also with the tornado, and a lot of y'all have made that easier on us as far as public safety, reaching out and helping us, helping your neighbor. So we want to, I know I speak for everybody, but we want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a number of hazards over the last month. In addition to the pandemic, the tornado outbreak, we had the dam break that caused the water to run over Hendersonville Highway, and the state EMD director reached out to us, and I told him, I said, we have a pretty robust emergency operations plan here in Colleton County, but we're not trying to exercise every piece of it at one time, but that appears to be what we did. But I agree totally that the path forward, I think, is all of us working together, and we're doing a great job with that so far. Any other questions? Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and end for today, and we appreciate y'all joining us again. Please reach out to our agencies if there's anything that you need.